Two words, game changer. We've often heard these words used in business, sports, economics, and even science. We've titled certain individuals and companies as being game changers. What comes to your mind when you hear the words game changer? When I consider what a game changer is, I think of the word distinction. Distinction is merely defined as the excellence that sets something or someone apart from others. A company that holds distinction is more than likely a company that is a game changer. We're surrounded by businesses and organizations that have taken the necessary measures to be distinctive. A game-changing business is a business that significantly alters the way things are done as a single unit. Game-changing companies are not afraid to be distinctive. They are not afraid to be different, and they are not afraid to form new strategies and protocols that will place them above their competitors. Game changers decide in the conception phase that they are going to be extraordinary in nature, setting a standard and making a difference that will be written in the pages of history. Whenever I set foot in an Apple store, I'm surrounded by game-changing technology, game-changing ideas, game-changing creativity, game-changing innovation. Seriously, my visits to the Apple store are few and far between. However, I'm always amazed how this company became a game changer in the industry of technology. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were two college dropouts in 1976 when they started Apple Computers, Inc. What was the game-changing conception for Apple Computers? Steve Jobs said it. We started out to get a computer in the hands of everyday people, and we succeeded beyond our wildest dreams. Apple Computers revolutionized the industry of computers, thus revolutionizing the world. How do I know that Apple is still a game changer? Because no matter where you go in the world, no matter what city you are in, if you visit an Apple store, it's always filled with customers. There's always a waiting list to be serviced and a waiting list to purchase. People follow game changers. Game changers are attractive and their impact is undeniable. Last year in the pandemic, Apple announced another breakthrough in technology. It introduced a new custom chip where it'll move its Macs from Intel processors to its own chips within the next 2 years. Apple's current CEO, Tim Cook, said it's a game changer, a historic moment for the Mac. How can you and I, as leaders in our respective fields and industries, create impact and distinction? Now, you're probably thinking and even saying to yourself, that's great for Apple because they have the capital. They have resources, they have equipment, they have tons of staffing, they have investors. Oh, we can go on and on and on about what these big box companies have that we don't have. How can I become a game changer with my business, with my non-for-profit organization, with the little that I have? Lesson number 1, a game changer is unafraid to disrupt. Game changers become popular once the change has been identified, documented, and accepted. Yet the process of getting to popularity is often misconceived and misjudged. You cannot be afraid to disrupt systems and cultures. Someone once said, trust your idea enough to know that it can change the status quo. If your idea and strategy scares you, leaves you in shock and awe, then you are on the path of creating impact. You and I were not created to conform. Your business model should cause a disruption to what has already been established. Let's look at this. The world of taxis were disrupted by Ubers. The world of takeout was disrupted by DoorDash. The world of cassette tapes and CDs were disrupted by digital music. Ask yourself, am I bold enough and unafraid to disrupt? Disruptions of any kind are never cute and never quiet. Let's think about that right there. Disruptions are never quiet. So I ask this question of you, CEOs and leaders. What kind of noise are you making in your industry? A game changer is unafraid to disrupt. Lesson number 2. A game changer is unashamed to walk by faith. I think we've made faith so complicated that we've missed the power in its simplicity. You and I utilize faith in everything that we do. I'm going to be very transparent. I am utilizing faith right now in addressing you virtually. Every time you and I sit in our cars and put the keys in the ignitions, we operate in faith. Every time we drive our cars down the roads and the expressways, we never pull our cars aside to check the road to see if it will buckle or cave that day. We drive in faith. Every time we board an airplane, we never have an interview with the pilot. No, we board the plane in faith, knowing that we're going to make our destination on time and we're going to make our destination safely. I can go on and on and on with countless examples on how we operate in faith for some of the simplest tasks that seem autopilot to us. Yet when it pertains to shifting our businesses and organizations, we become terrified. I know because I've been there. Being a CEO now for 7 years, I've realized that shifting can be very intimidating. Change can be very scary. Change is very intimidating. What areas in your business and organization have you been afraid to shift in? What areas have you been intimidated? Let's be real honest. Sometimes our own businesses and organizations can intimidate us as the CEO. That's real talk. So what areas often intimidate you? Staffing, fundraising, showing up on social media, branding, marketing. Oh, the list can go on and on of certain areas in our businesses and organizations where we feel afraid. We feel afraid to step out on faith. We feel afraid to be ourselves. We feel afraid to show up. The best way to shift is to do it afraid. Game changers don't wait to make things happen. Game changers make it happen even if they have to do it afraid. And let's be honest, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. A game changer is unashamed to walk by faith. But lesson number 3, a game changer is unapologetic to leave a legacy. Creating impact is not just for the present alone. Game changers are always future focused. Unfortunately, Steve Jobs, the creator of Apple, died October 5th, 2011. He was just 56 years old. Yet his legacy continues to live and it continues to thrive. Operative words here, live and thrive. I hold My iPhone 11. 2020 is when I decided to upgrade to an iPhone 11. This is proof enough that even though Steve Jobs is no longer among the living, his legacy is still thriving. Your vision should not die when you die. Your ideas should not die when you die. Your creativity should not die when you die. We all have a birth date and we have an end date. But legacies don't have end dates. Why? Game changers are unapologetic to know that they can be replaced, and it's okay as long as the vision never dies. An insecure leader is a leader that will build a vision, build an organization, build a business that completely evolves around him or her. But a secure leader knows that time is a vapor. A secure leader knows that I will not always be around. Therefore, what I'm building should last even when I'm gone. Vitor Belfort once stated, legacy is not what I did for myself, it's what I'm doing for the next generation. For your organization and for your business, are you thinking future focused? Or are you only operating just for the present? I want you to shift your thinking where you're not operating and building a business and an organization just for the next 3 years. I want you to think longevity. What will my organization look like within the next 15 years? What will my business look like? What type of face will it have for the next 10 years? A game changer is unapologetic to leave a legacy. Does your business have the capacity to expand? Do you have the capacity to expand? Oftentimes, as entrepreneurs and leaders in the marketplace, we can become stuck in the mundane of operating every single day. We can be stuck in our ideas, in our mindsets. We can become stuck in how we've done things that have become very easy and very mediocre to us. We've become comfortable. But when we talk about game changing, we must realize that we were created to be stretched. We were created with elasticity. If you think of a rubber band has all of the molecules and materials within itself to literally be stretched beyond its original form. You and I have all of the materials to literally be stretched beyond our comfort zones. Does your business have the capacity to expand? Do you have the capacity to expand, to enlarge yourself beyond the norm? If you answered yes with no hesitation, then you, my friend, are a game changer. Are you willing to be criticized and misjudged because you're different? Are you the exception to the rule? For years, I always thought of myself as weird. I would have so much creativity in my head as a child that I would be afraid to share it. And I literally thought something was wrong with me. But as I progressed in age, I began to embrace my rarity. I began to embrace how unique I was and how unique I thought. And now, as a leader in my industry and a CEO of my business, I realize that it's okay to be the exception to the rule. It's okay to be quirky. It's okay to be different. If you answered yes to being the exception to the rule with no hesitation, then you, my friend, are a game changer. Do you have the audacity to step out of the boat and walk on moving water while others are comfortable in the boat. See, stepping out of the boat is an indication that you're going to take a risk, even if it appears that you will drown. So do you have the audacity to step out of the boat, walk on water, while others in your industry, your competitors in your industry, are comfortable in the boat? If you answered yes with no hesitation, then you are a game changer. The world is ready for our impact. The world is tired of the norm. The world is ready for a generation of men and women that are unafraid to disrupt, unashamed to walk by faith, and unapologetic to leave a legacy. The world is ready for your impact, your revolutionary idea. The world is ready for you.